Well, afternoon, fellow zombies. It's almost 4 o'clock. It's 3:56 in the afternoon. It is the 19th of September 2023. The Weaver John C. of Rosamond, California. Shout out to artists in recovery. I'm hoping you're still okay. I hope the storms hadn't washed you away yet, pal. Okay, I have been keeping up with the politics as I should have, but I hear it's getting more and more frantic. A defense to bill. One of the many functions of Congress is supposed to pass bills if they've got to burr up their ass to do so. And apparently they hadn't. Something came up in the House of Representatives. Something about passing bills. Oh my God, is that allowed? I mean, is that really allowed to pass bills in their chamber? And what happened? They got their asses handed to them. And they did. So now we're dealing with that one. A House bill came up for defense spending, and it crashed and burned because the theoretical, what they call themselves, Progressive Party, but actually it's the circus. They tanked it, and the Republican base is questioning this because they're the ones who helped craft the bill and put it out there for. Well, they're supposed to be putting it for a vote, but it was supposed to be, well, do you want this up here or not? And it got tanked. There goes my dog. I know, mamas. I know, baby. I'll get you going. I'll get you going, baby. I'll get you going, honey. So, Leader McCarthy is beside himself. He doesn't know how to contain this chaos he courted in order to get the speakership. He's becoming almost one of the worst speakers next to Boehner and Ryan of the Republican Party. Ryan got the hell out of there because he couldn't deal with the Progressive Party, or the Knothead Party, they should have called it. And Boehner, I don't know what his major malfunction was. But that's what they are. Knotheads. And they couldn't keep their own factions together. Ryan saw this coming and he couldn't even deal with the damn thing. He got voted out. I think Ryan got in because when Boehner left or got voted out, and Ryan took over and then found out what kind of an eyehead they are. His own party was mutating even before his eyes. So now we got the mutated party of the GOP, who they no longer recognize as the old Grano Party from the Reagan era or from the Bush era. No, what you have is a bunch of brats running it. But Kevin McCarthy, the same idiot who comes from Kern County, California, represents my territory of Rosamond, California. We're sitting on the edge of LA County and Kern, but doesn't anybody pay attention to us? No. But we're right next to Edwards Air Force Base. Big frickin' whoop. If the town wasn't here, they still have a road over to Edwards Air Force Base. But the town was here, built right after Muroc Base was going, and then they needed places for people to stay, and then the town was being built. They had a long history of things that made the town a pretty safe place and a decent place to live. But over the past, God knows how many decades, between now and 40 years past, it mutated into something they didn't like. The old town folks are either leaving or dying off, which leaving new blood over here trying to figure this place out in the first place. But this is what Kevin McCarthy represents. He also represents Ridgecrest, Cal City, California City, and Mojave, or some people call it Mojave, Tehachapi, the desert regions. Do we ever get any representation out here? Oh, hell no. But Bakersfield, God, Central Valley comes from Central Valley, California. Oh, man. Why are we dealing with this idiot? I swear to God, I don't know. So now we got this to deal with. They call it the Chaos Caucus on MSNBC. And they might as well call it the Chaos Caucus because that's what they are. And Kevin McCarthy wanted the power of the speakership for a long while, apparently. He'd been in the House that long that he's willing to put people under the bus, apparently, just to get where he wanted. And he was willing to sell his soul. We saw that at the beginning of the term. And he did. He sold his soul. And they were calling on his bluff. The closer we get to the budget crisis here, and the more we're getting closer to the end of the election cycle here, to start the other new election cycle, they're calling his bluff. They're calling him out. And we're losing. Okay, speaking from a libtard Democrat. Some people may call me Uber Democrat, or just a libtard. That's okay. I don't care. Sometimes I have disagreements with the Democratic and Republican Party. Doesn't make me exactly an independent-minded here. Except I know both parties are screwed up, but, well, parties aren't supposed to be screwed up. Keep the flies on my damn sodas. There's my liquids here. And here's the thing about it. I'm not out there chasing political seats or anything else. I'm not trying to be the voice. I'm trying to be an observer of what I'm seeing right now, and I'm seeing parties are having a conniption fit. The Democrats are out wondering what's going on with the Republican Party. How come they're doing this crap? And we don't know. We don't know. Why do they want this power trip? Why do they want to control everybody else and be everybody else like this way? You got to be this way because we're telling you got to be this way. There's a hell of a lot of shit happening in this world. We got our climate crisis going insane. Have you ever seen flooding in Libya before? When the dam's so old and in an ancient infrastructure that they can barely keep up, was killing people and flooding out towns left and right when they couldn't keep up the water. So the desert region became a swamp. There's your international news right there. We still got a war going on created by a madman almost 2 years, and they're draining dry every damn munitions we've got stored and stockpiled because Putin just doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to admit defeat. He doesn't want to admit he's got a screw loose. He wants this chaos and confusion. I'm not quite sure if he's trying to make the munition companies and ammunition companies out there and manufacturers very happy. I don't know if he's doing it for a business thing or he's really doing it because he's insane. But we've got our own politicians screaming and yelling at each other, and not to mention at the White House. And either Putin's a good guy or we don't know what. Zelensky is at the United Nations telling people what the hell's going on and telling Putin, will you get the hell out of here? We didn't ask you. We didn't invite you. What the hell are you doing over here? And schmucks like Trump are taking, and the Trumplicans are, I don't know. They think this is some kind of conspiracy. They got conspiracies flying through left and right. Which brings me back to the Congress right now, who's still thinking that it's Joe Biden's fault for everything, including other people starting up other shit that wasn't even our fault. Didn't matter. It's happening on Biden's watch. It's his responsibility. Biden's trying to make the peace. He's trying to find ways as much as he certainly can. Now, here's the thing where I differ on the Democratic Party for this cycle here, coming up on the 24th. I can trust Biden to a point, but the thing is, I understand about if he's not going to be there mentally either. Vice President Kamala Harris, who used to be an attorney general around here in California. She fought her way through the ranks of getting to that particular position. And she's a smart lady. She understands about political savvy, but she also understands who are the nut jobs and who are not the nut jobs. And she's giving Biden all the youthful energy she certainly can to keep him propped. I don't think they're going to be able to vote her as a presidential candidate for 2024. She'll be trying to force this on Biden just to keep him going because we don't want Trump in office. We don't want any Trumplicants in office. And therefore, Biden's got to be it. I know there's a couple of people out there trying to gun for his job for the Democratic Party. And they don't care about what they're going to be doing to the party. Or weakening the result of the Democrats because now we got Trumplicants coming into office. And speaking about the Trumplicants, Tuberville is Senator Tuberville. I can't say senator. Not for this schmuck anyway. He lives in Florida, but he has his address out in Alabama. I mean, it's been proven. It's been proven out there, apparently. They're still talking about it in social media context out there. That Tuberville's got two addresses. One for Florida for his home with his wife, and another address where he uses for politics. Since what is Florida actually, and I'm trying not to spread conspiracy theories, but this is what's been passing down through the progressive media out there. Can he do two states for the one single thing? And he's holding up the military. And you're going to be asking me, how did this happen? There are certain committees that have to process and do whatever they got to do in order to approve funding and promotions and whatever the military needs before they go for a full Senate hearing on this. And these subcommittees have to go through the committees and then it has to go through the process. Tuberville is in one of those committees that actually has a majority rule. If you can't get an absolute majority, they don't go anywhere. And Tuberville is holding it up because I don't want any woman going out to get an abortion, and I'm willing to hold that against them. This asshole is doing this, and he don't care. He doesn't care that he's affecting a hell of a lot of people. Progressive media are like, well, they got this and they got that. Why? I don't understand. Well, they don't want to understand, apparently. They don't want to listen to what's going on, apparently. Because there are certain dynamics that the other chiefs of staff and other people in the Pentagon have been trying to explain it. And I guess the progressive media, I think they know better. Even I'm calling these guys on the shots. There are hierarchies, there are bureaucracies in the military that makes the government function, that makes the military defense positions function. You got your top dogs, you got your secretaries of whatever military branch you've got. And they are on they're in a pyramid of the chain of command. And these guys are doing all the administrative and all the processing and everything else in order to keep the ground troops and whoever they got working. Just because you got an interim guy over here, you think that's it? Clearly, these guys don't care about politics, or if they did, they would. Maybe they should do a truth table on this. No. I'm serious about this one. Maybe they should be coming up with a very complicated truth table. I'll show you something. This kind of stuff is going to be testing me out next week on this one. So I might as well explain something about truth tables. As much as I understand about the damn thing, I'm laughing at myself over the damn crap. I'm not a math whiz. I am nowhere near a math whiz. But I'll tell you one thing. Analyzing all this damn stuff is going to give people a headache. Try figuring this damn stuff out. This is out of my book. And this is the kind of stuff that I have to understand. You can lean across the screen all you want. And this is the kind of stuff I have to study. Do I understand it? But I'm working on it one way or another. I look at the exercises, I look at the lecture, and I'm trying to figure this monstrosity out. And this is borrowed, so I got to send it back in next 3 or 4 months. Find me a box to put it back in and get rid of the damn thing. Or else just buy it outright and just keep the Nightmare on Elm Street. There's another book I got to do for English. I got to talk about these things with the students. Welcome to my life. The reason why I don't get into politics and discuss about things left and right, what's happening these days. If I wasn't back in college, I'd be talking about this stuff like crazy, like everybody else. But no, this one, I'm applying academia to real world issues. If I were to put this thing into a mathematical expression over here, God. Hang on. Let's give you a nightmare. Some of the stuff the notes I've been trying to do on this damn thing. This is the wrong book. Yeah, that one's in there. Okay, well. I'm going to write some symbols on this thing. Okay. Conditionals. You got expressions of what's supposed to be theoretically logical or not. I have to keep these symbols burned in my head as I'm doing the examples. Doesn't mean a damn thing to you. I know it doesn't. But if you happen to look into the book where they've got this information, it's probably in the chapter 1.2. If I'm not mistaken. Hang on a second. Put you on pause. Okay. I can show you some of the work over here, but I'd rather be showing you some of the notes I've got regarding this damn thing. And it'll drive you crazy because this is the kind of stuff I'm still learning. My earlier notes. You could do a screenshot. You could pause the video and look at it, and then scream your heads off at this point. Yeah, some of the stuff I have to understand. Try some of these examples. Said before, you can pause the video and take a look at some of the stuff over here. Sorry about the finger. Yeah, and this one. Sometimes when I have to keep writing down on some of my notes. You can actually read the chicken scratches and understand them. Okay, you're probably telling me, enough already, enough already. Worse. This is not government secrets. This is out of a book of for mathematics for liberal arts. Gets even worse. Gets even worse. There we go. This is a good one. This is an excellent page right here. And you think government is complicated? Try learning this crap in college. This is community college, by the way. One of the math professors out there wanted this out there for students to learn about. But it's closer to philosophy, critical thinking, than it is math. If I'm going to look at it, I'm looking at it as algebra hidden one way or another. Now, if we understand about algebra or pre-algebra, they've got all these terminologies and they've got these formulas starting out for people to think in linear or nonlinear fashion. If you're thinking nonlinear, you have to think linear. And there's certain ways that you have to expand your calculations. If anything is in the parentheses, they have to be solved before the outers do. The same thing with this, except we put them in truth tables. And then we got to put the lettering in there, and then we have to put the formula at the end, and we got to see if something's truth or not. But this is math for liberal arts. Would have been better if we actually had pre-algebra, but we don't. They got rid of that about 4 or 5 years ago, I think, in our college system. And I didn't take advantage of it because I was trying to avoid math at all costs. I mean, I don't mind if I was talking about consumer math. I didn't mind, it should have dawned on me I could have been taking accounting 101, basic bookkeeping. I'm doing that for my own thing right now as it is. But this is what I have to face. Now, how does this relate to the real life, like in politics? If I put these guys in some kind of configuration, if I'm going to be putting them into a calculation of sorts, put them into the formula, and then I got to see whether or not it's truth or not. But after looking at all these T's and F's, it still wouldn't help out because I'm still dealing with a bunch of nah-heads. I'm still dealing with a bunch of nah-heads with an ego trip at this point. So apparently the truth table won't work on ego. It won't. Well, for a mathematician, maybe it will, but for me, it's not. Because they're still freaking idiots. How am I supposed to deal with this? Now, my question, getting back to this thing, how does Kevin McCarthy going to be able to govern our country in a speakership mode? We don't know. Because so far he's been doing a lousy job right now trying to keep the party together. He made so many deals with the quote-unquote Freedom Caucus. Why did they call them Freedom Caucus in the first place? Why are they called Freedom Caucus? Who are they guaranteeing freedom for? Them? Everybody else, they want to restrict here and restrict this and restrict it and restrict that. And you got the Trumplicans, both House and Senate, screwing things over left and right. Came back to it. You got our crazy-ass senator that's holding up the military because of woke bullshit. And then you got the House of Representatives broken down because of all this damn woke bullshit. Then you got political candidates out there running for the Republican seat of power with all this woke bullshit. Meanwhile, their states are going absolutely nuts. Oh boy, I don't know what the hell we're going to do. To tell you the truth, honestly, God, I don't know. So for right now, it's the only thing I can do is just record it, talk about it, bang my head on the table or on a wall. I can't put a hole through the wall because I'm going to be responsible for the damn damage. Will they, in fact, bill me for this?